Yo, what's up? Hey, I just barely made it here on time today. I literally at 10:46, I walked into my house, let my dogs out, ran downstairs, hit the 10-minute timer, started standby, and then I had to go up. And thankfully, Lady Boomer's still here. She made me a couple eggs, which I still have right there. And I'm going to eat them during the intro. And I'm poof, I'm here. Now, luckily, I did everything I wanted to do for today's show last night. So that's a good thing. So I'm going to play the intro. I'm going to choke down this last egg and these 2 English muffins and some juice. And then we're going to go with the show. So, Johnny, please play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Okay, well, I didn't quite make it. I still have some English muffin in my mouth. And I'm looking in the chat. Nick DiPaolo got kicked off of YouTube? Are you serious, Ben Jim? I would wonder what happened to him. Be careful with Biden's son stories. Yeah, you know what? I am going from, what I'm doing. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude. And you probably don't want to hear me chewing, but it just is what it is. I am taking the hard bastards line today, somewhat, and I'm only using approved news from authoritative sources, which spells ANAS. So please, when you're done, like they say over there, make sure you thumb up the ANAS. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Oh, for 1 week, you know what? These social media companies, well, we'll talk about that today when it comes to the Biden story. It's, what the hell's going on here? Okay, there we go. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating watching the Democrats, the media, social media, everybody running interference on a story that if the name Trump was on the thing, no, I know, can't see my email. Okay, no, if it was not someone named Biden and someone named Trump, do you think for 1 second they would bother fact checking? Do you think they would bother seeing if these stories are true? Well, we already know that because that whole Russia thing was kind of never really fact checked by the media. And now their favorite, the phrase of the weekend is Russian disinformation. That's the phrase of the weekend. It ain't looking good. It's very interesting. Anyway, let me do this. Oh my gosh, 35 people already here, 16 likes already. Hit the like button if you like what we do. I'll remind you at the end because sometimes you just don't know. You just don't know if you like what I do until it's over. And, when it's over, I'll remind you. And I'll remind you, and I'm going to say, hey, did you like what we did today? If you really like what we did, hit the like button, okay? But before we start, let's say good morning, everybody, because, I'm on Top Chat. I hate it when they put this on Top Chat. Anyway, let's say good morning to everyone in the chat. In the chat first today, is this true? Is it truly Keena, the first one, and Keena gets the bell? All right, way to go. All right, and also good morning to Select a Boy. Yeah, boy. And good morning, Rachel, my friend from down under, Gunfox61. By the way, Gunfox, do me a favor. I didn't add it to the bot yet for the Discord server, but we are going to, if Gunfox has time, he will throw the link to the to our new Discord server in the chat. I'm only going to be announcing it in the chat. I'm not going to put it in my description or anything like that. If you're into Discord, we're going to put news stories and things like that there. So, also good morning to Mike Savage, Blarg, D.I. Fredo Watcher, Renee Mayette, Grillin' Pirate Pete, C. Thomas, what's up, my brother? I haven't seen you for a while. I'm glad you're here. Also, good morning to Chicago Mike. I've got to scroll a lot here because y'all have been talking a lot. Bim Jim, who I already said, I'm kind of bummed about Nick DiPaolo, but only for a week. Okay, we'll see what happens. Good morning, Jonas Pedersen, Robert Chalk, Cindy Rochelle. As I scroll, hey Larry, what's up? Chi-Town J. Let's see, Atheist Icon, James PFP, Russian. Also, good morning to excuse me, Purple Pill Perspective. Am I getting everybody here? I'm having trouble here. All right, at least that's the bottom. And everyone else who's lurking, watching in the background, watching at work. Good morning, Kiever Dam. And Maddie, good morning. If you're here and you just have to watch it like you're at work or something, or you're driving, you don't have to do anything in the chat. I'm just glad you were here. And if you're watching it on a replay, put a comment in the chats in the comment section down below. All right, now everything I have today is just crap that I bookmarked, and holy Shiite Batman. Gunfox needs a place to harass dog with news. Yeah, no, I greatly appreciate the news stories, but man, I'm just overwhelmed sometimes, only because I also have my own guy that aggregates that I use as an aggregator, and so I have 60, 70, 80 stories to choose from every day. Sometimes they double up too. Some of the great articles that Gunfox send me, I sometimes already have, sometimes I don't. But Gunfox is a great finder. I got to tell you that, and I do appreciate him doing that. So, by the way, it is what is it? 5 days now that no one named Biden has denied send those emails. Hello, Kessler. So we'll just go out here. So let's, I'm going to do this. Let's see. I haven't even read. Normally I get here about 8 o'clock. I have time to read through a couple things that I hadn't read yet. And today I had not read this. But I'm going to read JJ Sefton's intro today because he usually has something good going on. And then I'm going to get into the articles that I bookmarked, and we'll just keep it going. So he starts with, good morning, kids. It's Monday with 15 days until election day. The Hunter Biden Ukraine scandal has definitely not been contained by the Democrat left media complex. Yeah, it's been Streisand effect big time. By the way, I got to ask. One of the funny things yesterday that I heard, and I'm sure it's true, isn't it weird? You know how what does Joe Biden call it when he's done for the day, and it's been done for the day like at 9 a.m. half the time. They call it a lid. They put a lid on things, right? They put a lid on things. Well, yesterday I found out, and maybe you heard this too, that Joe Biden has put a lid on the campaign until the debate on Thursday. It's 15 days until election day, the official election day, because some people already started voting. I might have to go vote early. I don't want to get in a long line. 15 days until election, and Joe Biden, the Democratic candidate for president of the United States. Now, I don't know if it's the whole campaign, if Kamala's going to be out there or not. Joe Biden himself, though, a lid Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday till Thursday evening. 5 days. Now, they say it's for debate prep. And I gotta think, is this 5 days, 15 days before the election? Do you think the president is taking 5 days off between now and then? Do you think he even needs and the damn debate? Oh God, the debate moderator tweeted out what the debate topics are, and they're the same freaking topics as the last debate. It's like all they want to do, one of them is about race in America and COVID-19 and this, that. You don't think that the town hall that he just was in with the chick who looked like the devil shouting at it was all about the things everything that was in that town hall, everything in that damn last debate where Trump didn't really let Joe talk a lot. It's all the same damn topics. They just want topics that they can berate the president instead of, you know what? How about now? This next one does have a foreign policy aspect, and now, of course, I'm sure the moderator, who is certainly very neutral, right down the middle, calling balls and strikes. I am sure that the moderator. Good morning, Teresa the Kid. I'm sure that the moderator will be completely fair and ask follow-up questions to both candidates in a calm and polite manner, just being pressing but not overbearing. I'm sure the debate moderator will be just, wait a minute. She's a former Democratic operative. Never mind. Anyway, it's going to be interesting to see if this debate even happens. I think it's possible. I think it's possible that Joe Biden's going to find a way to skip out of this debate. I think, and also, guess what? Drip, 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 drip. Remember I said how there's a lot more drip things coming out from the drip emails and stuff, and that came off the drip laptop, and there's going to be more drip photos, and there's going to be more drip, more evidence drip. I don't think they're done. I just don't. Now, there's also going to be something, they're going to throw out something really nasty at Trump too. I guarantee it. It's just how this is working so far. I mean, they've tried to put out, what do I call it? The TDB. I call it the TDBS, the Trump Daily Bombshell, but I had a different name for it, but I'm going to stick with the TDBS, the Trump Daily Bombshell. Now, I haven't seen a Trump Daily Bombshell for a couple days because I think all the air in the room has been taken up by this Hunter Biden thing. I just need to stop. Let me get back into this. So anyway, good morning, kids. Monday, 15 days to Election Day. The Hunter Biden Ukraine scandal has definitely not been contained by the Democratic left media complex. The tell is the media spin, which is that Rudy Giuliani is either wittingly or unwittingly acting as a Russian agent to spread disinformation about the Bidens. Never mind the fact that Hunter Biden never denied that he did, in fact, drop off the laptop to the Delaware computer repair shop, and that laptop was attempted to be retrieved by none other than Hunter Biden's lawyer. Yeah! Way to go, Hunter Biden's lawyer. Also, that the photos, many of them sexually explicit and perhaps involving females of a lesser age. I'm trying to keep that. Hello, angry Illinoisan. How you doing? And more to the point, that first they claimed they were faked, but then they said the computer was hacked. If it was hacked, that's an admission that they're not fake. A damning email about remunerating packages involving the Chi-Coms has, in fact, been authenticated by Hunter's business partner. And never mind the fact that while Vice President Joe Biden boasted to a group at either the World Economics Forum or some other major globalist gathering that he blackmailed the Ukrainian government into firing a judge looking into Hunter's and Burisma's corrupt dealings. Now, he didn't say that part of it. He just said that he coerced them with how he was going to give away money or something to get them to fire some prosecutor, some obscure prosecutor in a country that was not theirs, not ours, right? Remember, my example was if China said, okay, we're not going to buy any more of your bonds that fund all the shit that you do unless you fire Eric Holder. That would be the equivalent. It's like, get out of here, right? But if it was hacked, then hey, if it was hacked, then all that stuff's true, right? Oh, maybe they think it was hacked and they put it in, they altered things, right? Oh, by the way, one of his other business partners who is in jail also gave some reporter access to 36,000 more emails. I think what's that called? When you flip and sing. Remember when they thought all of the president's cohorts back in the Russiagate scandal were going to flip and sing? Nope. Anyway. Yeah, so he blackmailed the Ukrainian government into firing a judge looking into Hunter's and Burisma's corrupt dealings, or else risk having $1 billion aid package quashed, and that Barack Obama knew and approved of the extortion. Never mind all of it, because Orange Man bad. With this blatant criminality, the Democratic media complex has now evolved its standard line of, quote, fake but accurate, like Dan Rather, remember fake but accurate, into accurate but fake. Oh, there's another big tell. With something that could not only potentially destroy Biden's chances at re-election, even with the big cheat already in motion, or potentially land them, other family members and associates in prison, though let's be real, the odds of that happening are astronomically slim, because the bureaucrats and whatever in the bureaus are all, well, let's just say they're Democrats. P-Dawg, bruh, don't you know that it's only okay the Democrats who are allowed to behave like this? Yes, E. Thomas, I do know that. Where is the billion-dollar libel suit against the New York Post, the reporters who broke the story, Rudy Giuliani, and all the others who went public with this? If I were Joe or Hunter Biden, I'd have called a press conference within a nanosecond of the story breaking to announce a lawsuit, demand a front-page retraction and apology, and go on a tear against Donald Trump, KGB master spy and collaborator. Yeah, he's calling Donald Trump KGB master spy and collaborator. But that didn't happen, did it? In fact, the only thing that did happen was that Facebook and Twitter immediately muzzled the New York Post. Yeah, how about that? The New York Post still suspended from Twitter right as we speak. Since the 14th, the New York Post, a 120-year-old newspaper in the United States of America, has been suspended from Twitter. The techno oligarch. Oh, and Facebook too. The techno oligarchs are censoring the 120-year-old American newspaper. You believe that shit? Do you believe that shit? Also White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany, prominent Republican congressional leaders, and other major conservative voices and outlets to squash the story. Naturally, it was under the pretext that the evidence was fake news and Russian disinformation. But of course, Islamic terrorists beheading people, BLM Antifa beating people up and setting cities on fire, the president illegally acquired and confidential tax returns, the lies and distortions about what he did say in Charlottesville, or about the World War I dead, and every other cheap low smear, perfectly fine and above board. Yes. Hello, Donatella Slap Fellow and TC Ball. For those not aware, Facebook, Twitter, Google, and many other he says tech giants, I say techno oligarchs, are joined at the hip to the Chi-Coms and the Democrats, both economically and politically. Look up social credit scoring. They now have a vested interest in destroying President Trump so they can complete the transformation of America into a neutered globalist outpost with the Chinese essentially ruling the world as hegemon. That is not tinfoil hat nuttery. That is a verifiable fact of just what is at stake here. And speaking of the anti-media media, this just sort of crystallizes as in crystal, who and what they are. From Miranda Devine at the New York Post, For 3 days, Joe Biden refused to say a word about the Post's exclusive stories last week linking him to his son Hunter's business deals in the Ukraine and China. It wasn't until 7:45 p.m. Friday at the Detroit airport that the former vice president briefly stopped for questions, and CBS reporter Bo Erickson asked about the damning emails found on Hunter's laptop, which was abandoned last April at a Mac repair shop. "I have no response," snapped Joe. "Another smear campaign right up your alley." A video of Joe's remarks on Erickson's Twitter account has been viewed 6 million times, but for some in the media, Erickson was at fault for asking the question. Quote, "Bo, this is your news director," replied Steve Holzer, a UCLA journalism instructor and news director who has worked at CBS in the past but not currently, according to his LinkedIn profile. Quote, "The right question is, what do you think of the report that Rudy Giuliani used Russian disinformation?"
Gotcha, bitch. Gotcha, bitch.
Whoops. Russian disinformation to try to smear your family 19 days before an election. Oh, what do you think of the report? How about before? What do you? I don't know. I don't give a rat's. You know what he thinks about the report or how he feels about the report. I just want to know, hey, Joe, any of that true? But no. The news director says, what do you think about the report? How does it make you feel? And I can hear it in the next debate already. President Biden, how mad were you when you heard that the Trump campaign was disseminating Russian disinformation about your beloved son, Hunter Biden? That's what the question is going to be. I'm telling you, it's going to be something like that. The tweet tells you everything about the dishonest response to our story from much of the establishment media. That's the New York Post. Bingo! The question is, the perception of the world has been so poisoned and so skewed by decades of indoctrination in the schools and in the culture that I often wonder if these people actually believe the tripe they put out, or do they know it's all tripe, or just do it to advance the cause. I really now believe that they do in fact believe it. How else does one explain the Antifa goon from the Project Veritas Sting video who believes lying, cheating, and violence are all just because of got mittens? Now, come election night, I'm going to have to seal myself up in my house because New York and every other damn Democratic metropolitan Führer bunker is going to be set alight when Trump wins. I realize that the DOJ and FBI have their hands full with trying to investigate Rudy Giuliani as a Russian agent or passing off a fake laptop as the truth, Sark. But now might be a good time to start to try to interrupt and break up the prepositioning of bricks, baseball bats, gasoline, and firearms in advance of Election Day, right? Shit. Okay. All right. I am going to, before I get into stories, I'm going to run my little commercial now just because I still have to finish my English muffin. So, by the way, I do have my cup of reparations coffee today. Please join me in a side tip. Pick up your glass, have a nice sip, and oh, that's so delicious. And I'll be back in a minute. Hey everybody, it's me, Marty. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I hope you're enjoying the show. The Morning Night Live is sponsored by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please, if you have a moment, take time to share this stream by hitting that little arrow down below or up here if you're on a mobile. And please hit the like button. I know you like it, you're still here and you're still watching. And finally, if you want to support the show, you can do that through your donations and super chats, which are in the description down below. You can do that at Streamlabs link or at PDawgKnight.live. That every little bit helps. And thank you for watching. Now back to the show. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, I did want you to hear me chewing. So I have one story that I need to show you before I get into the Hunter Biden stuff, right? Because this one, it kind of cracked me up. And everything else today is going to be either Hunter Biden related. And from many perspectives, I have stories from one side and I have stories from the other side. But I just got to tell you, a couple of these you're going to go, what? Huh? What? Say what? But this particular story cracked me up. And only because I'm still on now. Okay. This story, I don't know why this cracked me up, but NBC News posted this on Twitter yesterday evening. It was yesterday afternoon, excuse me. Decades of mismanagement led to choked forests. Now it's time to clear them out. Fire expert says. Forest management is a lot like gardening. You have to keep the forest open and thin, said Mike Rogers, a former Angeles National Forest supervisor. The Western United States is enduring yet another devastating fire year with more than 4.1 million acres. Wait a minute. What? Hold up. Wait. Hang on a second. Did you hear that? Wait a minute. That sounds so damn familiar. I could have sworn I've heard this before. I know I've heard it before. Didn't the President of the United States mention that a few times over the last couple months when these fires were going on? I could have sworn that Donald Trump said something just like that. It's amazing. Okay, and this is NBC News is reporting this. The Western United States is enduring yet another devastating fire year with more than 4.1 million acres already scorched in California alone. At least 31 people dead and hundreds of others forced to flee their homes. Wildland fires are increasingly following a familiar pattern: bigger, hotter, and more destructive. A recent Los Angeles Times headline declaring 2020 to be the worst fire season again illustrated some of the frustration residents feel over the state's fire strategy. For decades, federal, state, and local agencies have prioritized fire suppression over prevention, pouring billions of dollars into hiring and training firefighters, buying and maintaining firefighting equipment, and educating the public on fire safety. But as climate change continues to fuel dry conditions in the American West, many experts say it's long past time to shift the focus back to back to managing healthy forests that can better withstand fire and add to a more sustainable future. Now, I'm not going to read the rest of this article. I'm going to put it in the chat. But what's hilarious about this article, I know for a fact that the President of the United States just said this a few weeks ago. In fact, it was in the debate, and the President said something about forest management, and all the pundits were just pulling their freaking hair out and crying, Putin this, and somebody else made you say that, and you're a Russian agent, and this is bullshit. You don't believe in climate change, and you don't believe in science, and fuck you, and they always say fuck you to Trump. Right? But isn't that exactly what Trump was saying? And if you read the whole article, it's pretty much everything that Trump was saying, right? I'm not going to read this whole article, but do you know what name is conspicuously absent from this article from NBC News? Donald John Trump is not mentioned once in the article. Oh my, unbelievable. Now, I don't know that I care all that much president has been talking about this for months now. Months. Wait, did you get an ad in the middle of my show besides my ad? I just saw someone say, fuck them ads. If Trump has been saying, don't you think he would get even a tiny mention in the article that he's been saying this same damn thing for months? Now, here's the funniest. Now, here's something funny. You read this tweet. Decades of mismanagement led chokes forests. Now it's time to clear them out. Fire expert says. The first reply that I read to this stupid ass tweet was this azalea. I'm gonna call it an azalea. It's supposed to add. Oh, this is okay. This guy says, okay, let me get this straight. There are many hundreds of thousands of acres of forest in the U.S., especially in California. So now Trump is telling the states they need to rake the forest floors? Really? So how many thousands of employees does he think that will require? Bitch, please. Trump was not even mentioned in the article. This motherfucker didn't even read the article. I'm swearing, aren't I? Okay, fuck it. This motherfucker didn't even read the article. Trump was never mentioned in this article. But he sure as damn sure should have been, since he's been talking about it. Don't you think? Don't you think? And then some other asshole down here, I can't find it, was saying Trump had years. Oh, so Trump has known this for years and yet he did nothing about it? Because Politico comes out with this bullshit article. Now, what's the date on this fucker? This is from September. Trump blames California for fires. He should check to see whose land they are on their own. Guess what? You know why the national forests haven't been managed either? Because the states took them to court over certain they said, well, you're gonna endanger the habitat for this particular warbler, even though this warbler is at several locations. If you do this, you're gonna see all see the trees you let just lay in the forest. Now they've become habitat for rare animals. So they took the federal fucking government to court not to manage those lands. So, good God. And again, these are national forests too, but they still took them to court not to manage the land. And so they tied up the U.S. government in court. Unfreaking believable. Unbelievable. Okay. Thank you, Gunfox61, who is now You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day. Thank you for the first chat of the day from Gunfox with the $2, who says, trying to find world news and non-political news stories is a pain. Let California burn. They voted for their state leadership. Trump derangement syndrome is real. Yes, sir, it is. And I concur. You get to, and I see the rest of the crowd joins me in their enthusiasm for what you just right there. Thank you for the first super chat of the day. And thank you. Now, unfortunately, the reason that's called You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day. Okay, so why? It's the Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day because unfortunately, there's no way to do this with the YouTube chat. So if you donate through Streamlabs, you could be. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day. All right. So anyway, all right, let's get into the actual bookmarks. Oh, before I do that, I have some thank yous to do. Thank you, Tyler F., Necrosol Collins, Aaron Meredith, Grill and Pirate Pete, Cindy Rochelle, Egris S. Lightning Hawk. Okay, that was just, I see. That's from, Maddie, someone liked your tweet. Thank you, Maddie. Follow Maddie on Twitter. She does a news dump every morning too. And I think that's everybody who's tweets show. By the way, tweet out the show, hit the share arrow, Twitter minds Gab, and all that shit. Please. I lost a subscriber. I'm down to 1,019. Keep keep P-Dawg in the plus column. Hey, Chadwick Dupree, how you doing? All right, let's get into my bookmarks. This is kind of all Hunter all the time. Although that wildfire story, oh God, that would drive me crazy. Lady Boomer needs to limit your soundboard access. What the hell's that mean? Good morning, Midnight Next. How you doing? All right. I'm just going to these are in no particular order. I'm just going to go down to the one that I started with, the longest, farthest down, which I have a lot of them. And, well, let's start with, holy shit. I did a lot of these. All right. Oh, David Ignatius. Okay, let's get this. Let's start with the Washington Post opinion column here by David Ignatius. Now, this is very interesting, and I'm going to point something out to you as we read this. Now, this is the Washington Post. David Ignatius. Remember David Ignatius? Isn't he the guy that also wrote for Yahoo News that kind of broke some Russian stuff that they kind of did this? They leaked something to him, and he wrote an article on Yahoo News, and then they used that to say, well, we heard this thing, and it's in Yahoo News. So they leaked it and then used it to get some warrants and shit like that. That David Ignatius. Well, he wrote an opinion piece in the Washington Post over the weekend, and it is called "The Truth Behind the Hunter Biden Non-Scandal." Oh, it's a non-scandal. I should read this as a leftist. David Ignatius used. Oh no, that was David Korn. Well, whatever. David Ignatius is just as contemptible. He starts out. Now, I should do this with some very gentle, light music or something, but I'm not going to. I got to read. I still have some things to add to my mixing board so I can have music that I can control the sound and whatnot. But I'll just read this in the manner in which it should be read. Excuse me. I need a sip of my reparations coffee. Okay, here we go. The story of Hunter Biden's involvement with the Ukrainian gas company Burisma isn't a scandal about his father, as the Trump campaign claims, but part of a personal tragedy for the vice president's son, compounded by this week's dissemination of what looks like disinformation about Joe Biden's role. Oh, it looks like disinformation? Oh, so are you saying that without any evidence? Excuse me, I'll continue. What's clear beyond the false scandal mongering? Wait a minute. You said appears or looks like disinformation, but now you're being a little more definitive. What's clear beyond the false scandal mongering? Which is it? Does it look like it or it is? You might want to get your shit straight here, David. What's clear has been evident for years. Hunter Biden made a mistake getting involved with a dubious company like Burisma. But the notion that the Burisma affair undermines Joe Biden's case to be president is, as he would say, malarkey. The Biden campaign has been understandably reluctant to respond. If it were false, you'd be saying it from the rooftops. You'd be saying, "This is bullshit." I would be. Ooh, the devil's donation as we speak. The look on her face when she does that. Thank you for the 666 and the new. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day. Bubba Hotep with the 666, the devil's donation, who says, "I'll tell you about my corruption after the election."
Come on, man.
Joe Biden. Okay. The Biden campaign has been understandably reluctant to respond. Oh, if they knew it were false, they would not be reluctant. For fear of giving the story legitimacy. Oh, that's what it is. Instead of responding for fear of giving it legitimacy, you just put a lid on your campaign for 5 days so you don't have to answer any more questions. We'll get to questions in a minute. Still, Biden has said his son made a mistake. Family made a mistake? Yeah, while you were the vice president of the United States, sir. And in fact, you were the lead person on all that was Ukraine. Family friends say family friends. Oh, did you ask family friends, David? How did you have access to family friends, David? Oh, baby, you're the family friend. Since you've been in Washington as long as Joe Biden, family friends say the vice president is reluctant to publicly criticize Hunter Biden further, but they stress that both Bidens have learned the painful lesson that a president's children should stay away from international business. Oh my God. I don't know if I can do this. Would that the Trump family recognize that role? Hey, dickhead. Let me tell you something, dickhead. And I called you dickhead, David. The Trump family was in international business before Donald Trump became the president. In fact, that was their whole life. Okay, dickhead. I hate to break this to you, but Hunter Biden became involved in international business after his father became vice president of the United States, and after he became the lead person on Ukraine, and after he was planning trips to China, and after your business dealings all seem to coincide with trips that your dad took to those places. So let's not pretend this is the same goddamn thing. Sorry, I kind of went off there. To provide perspective, I've talked this week with a business consultant. Oh, you sought out a business consultant? Way to go. Thank you. You're so good, David. You sought out a business consultant with extensive experience in Ukraine. Oh, unlike Hunter Biden's when he got the job working for an energy company in the Ukraine. I bet that business consultant had way more experience than Hunter Biden. I digress. Hunter Biden contacted early in 2014 as he was considering joining the Burisma board. For what purpose? The consultant strongly urged against this move, but Biden, oh, I see, that business consultant, the one that supposedly advised Hunter Biden and he didn't take his advice. But Biden, struggling with personal and financial issues, pressed ahead. Wait a minute. Who the? Okay, hold up. Wait a minute. But listen to that again. But Biden, struggling with personal and financial issues, pressed ahead. Okay, let's say that you own a big ass company. I mean, multi-million-dollar international company, and you're looking for someone to be on your board of directors. Would you hire someone who's struggling with personal and financial issues? Hell no. Oh, wait a minute. His dad's the vice president of the United States. Oh, damn. Let's get that guy. And I shall continue. The danger that Hunter Biden's Burisma connection might be misused was illustrated soon after. Burisma posted a photograph on its website of Devon Archer, Hunter Biden's business partner, standing with the then vice president before an American flag at what appeared to be the White House. Archer, with Hunter Biden, joined the Burisma board in the spring of 2014. The consultant, who requested anonymity, of course, said he urged Hunter Biden through a friend to have Burisma take down the photo, and it was removed from the company website that day. A copy couldn't be located, but the Biden campaign doesn't dispute that it may have been taken when Archer visited the White House in April 2014 with his son. Oh, great. Who cares? Now, the Hunter-Ukraine connection has been a political sideshow since the Biden campaign began. Oh, I wonder why. It got new voltage this week when the New York Post published what it claimed were emails from Hunter Biden's laptop suggesting that he had helped arrange a 2015 meeting between his father and a Burisma executive. The Biden campaign denied any such meeting and its accounts based on recollections of multiple staff members are believable. Wait a minute. The Biden campaign denied any such meeting, and its accounts based on recollections of multiple staff members are believable. Why? An Eastern European expert in digital forensics who has examined some of the Ukrainian documents leaked to the New York Post told me he found anomalies such as American-style capitalization of the names of the ministries that suggest fakery. They are going on. There's a reason why I'm reading this article, because there is something key here. People in personal troubles, as Hunter Biden was in 2014, often ignore good advice. Of course, he was probably smoking crack at the time, and that seems to be the case here. The consultant elaborating on a fragmentary account I reported in March told me that he was approached in the spring of 2014 by one of Biden's friends who was worried about his plans to join Burisma, but he still joined them. I wonder why. The consultant said he met Biden and the friends for drinks at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Georgetown. Biden described the discussions between Burisma and his company, Rosemont Seneca Partners, which he had founded 5 years before, with Christopher Hines, that's John Kerry's stepson, and Archer, both friends from Yale. Biden asked the consultant about some of the Ukrainian involved with Burisma, whom Archer had encountered in Kyiv. Burisma was pursuing new gas leases in Ukraine that it claimed might attract international investment. Now, I'm going to skip ahead here because there's a very, very, very key. Now, so he goes talking, making all this bullshit, right? So here's the key paragraph from this article. Before I do that, let me read these super chats real quick. Thank you, Maddie, for the $5 through Streamlabs, who says, you mean there's an ulterior motive for Joe's break? Imagine my shock and lack thereof. Right? Right? He's taking a break now. Oh, you know what? I'll bet you anything. If they do have this debate, this ain't coming up. This is not coming up unless Trump brings it up, and Trump's going to try to bring it up as much as he can, and they're going to squash it. Watch. Thank you, Maddie, for the 5. And then also thank you, Gamer Valine, with the 556. Wait, what happened? Oh, I didn't do. Oh, hang on. There we go. Who says, it may be me, but the way you said, let's not pretend, reminded me of Donna on Parks and Rec. Are you about to treat yourself, P-Dawg? I wish you know what? I hate to admit this. I only watched one episode of Parks and Rec in my entire life. I gotta watch it. I know, I heard it's a funny show. My son is watching reruns and he says he loves it, but I haven't read. I don't know what you're talking about. I wish I did, but thank you so much for the support and the Streamlabs super chat. Okay, thank you guys, Maddie and Gamer Bleed. Here's the paragraph that is the absolute kicker. The absolute kicker. David Ignatius admits something here that's unbelievable. Here's this paragraph. Biden responded poignantly about his need for income, the consultant recalled. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Oh, wait a minute. Here's a sentence before. They're using you for your name. They will exploit your name to your detriment and your father's, the consultant remembers warning Biden. Biden responded poignantly about his need for income, the consultant recalls. My mom and dad don't have money. Wait, My mom and dad don't have money? His mom and dad are, right? His mom and dad are Joe Biden and whatever his mom's name is. I can't think of it off the top of my head. My mom and dad don't have money. Bo, Hunter's brother, now deceased, will run for office because this is before Bo died. I have to make money for the family. Biden said he planned to join Burisma as a director. Family friends say he was struggling with a drug problem at that time and his judgment was erratic. Wait a minute. Bo responded poignantly about his need for income. My mom and dad don't have money. Bo, Hunter's brother, now deceased, will run for office. I have to make money for the family? (2014). Wasn't Joe Biden the vice president of the United States at the time? Did he just admit? Did David Ignatius just admit this is how the Bidens make money for their family? Huh. It's very interesting. Very interesting. This one is not firewalled, I don't think, or maybe I just haven't read. Here's the rest of the article, the editorial. David Ignatius just admitted that this money was going to Joe Biden too. Huh. All right, real quick. Thank you, Baba Hotep, who is still. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day. Thank you for the extra 556. He says it may I just think the Streamlabs alert needs to play again for science. Oh, yes, the 556. Oh, yep, I have a few very interesting Streamlab alerts that I have to get the YouTube ones also. I'm going to add some new YouTube ones, but right now the Streamlab alerts. Yeah, they're, it's very instructive on how to use a weapon. I'm just telling you, it is. And thank you, Democrat IMAX, LMAX, anyway, the $2, who says, Marty, how dare Trump be allowed to act like he can do international business? Only we are allowed to do international business while letting our kids be crackheads who sell access to our dear leaders. Only we can act like monarchs of old. Yes, yes, only the Democrats can. Yes, they can. Thank you, Democrats, LMAX or IMAX or something or other. Thank you very much. All right, let's move on because I'm spending way too much time on that. Back to the bookmarks. So I thought this is funny. Yeah, even Richard Grinnell, the former, I don't know, he's the, whatever Richard Grinnell does, you know who he is. Explosive admission from Ignatius Post article spinning for Biden. Biden responded pointedly about his need for income. The consultant recalls, my mom and dad don't have money. Bo will run for office. I have to make money for the family. Hunter Biden admits he has to make money for the entire family. This is why we see emails talking about 10% for the big guy. This is not something Ignatius intended. He was covering for Joe Biden with a sympathetic spin as usual, but Hunter admits his plan. Bingo! Also, let's see. Let me get back to the bookmarks. Holy cow, Hunter Biden's former... Oh, and then apparently Hunter Biden's former business partner has turned over 26,000 emails to Peter Schweitzer. That's the one who's in jail, who got convicted of something. IMAX, because they project. Oh, I get it. Thank you. Okay, gotcha. Democrat, I project. Got it. Okay, thank you, C. Thomas. I was confused. So anyway, here's the article here. Peter Schweitzer now has emails from Hunter's business partner, Exclusive. Peter Schweitzer, Hunter Biden's flipped business partner, provides 26,000 emails. The business partner of Hunter Biden, who flipped on the Biden family from prison, provided access to 26,000 emails. Breitbart News senior contributor Peter Schweitzer said in a Saturday morning radio appearance. Schweitzer, appearing on Breitbart News Saturday on Sirius XM 125, the Patriot channel, said the former Hunter Biden business partner Bevan Cooney provided 26,000 emails to him, the first of which were published late last week in a Breitbart exclusive investigation by Schweitzer and author Seamus Bruner. Cooney is currently serving a sentence in federal prison due to his conviction over financial deals he made connected to Hunter Biden and his other partner, Devin Archer. Archer, who was also convicted by a jury in federal court, saw his conviction vacated by a federal judge. I wonder who that judge was appointed by. That conviction was later, just for a couple weeks ago, reinstated by the appellate court, which overruled the lower court's judge decision to vacate it. Good. Archer awaits sentencing. In the meantime, however, Cooney, who is serving his sentence in federal prison, reached out to Schweitzer via conservative journalist Matthew Tyremond and provided written authorization to access his Gmail account. He provided the password and username and written authorization to publish emails because Schweitzer says he believes he was the fall guy for the Biden family's corruption, and he believes the public needs to know what really happened in Hunter Biden's universe. The first article on these emails was published Friday afternoon and detailed how Hunter Biden and his business partner secured meetings with senior White House officials in November 2011 for Chinese communist elites, including, as the Chinese elites who were present revealed, a secret meeting with then Vice President Joe Biden himself. The Biden campaign has not responded to requests for comment about this from Breitbart News. So I'm not, again, this is another one I'm not going to read. I'll put the link in the chat and you can read the rest of that yourself. But remember the term flip and sing? Well, somebody flipped and is singing from prison. What else we got? Hunter Biden. Oh, and also, by the way, have you noticed they still haven't denied any of this? It's interesting. I mean, they've like Biden called it what? I don't know. Anyway, Hunter Biden isn't denying he gave his laptop to a Delaware repair shop. Hunter Biden has not confirmed or denied that he dropped off a laptop at a Delaware computer repair shop that has been described as the source for emails detailing his business dealings with Ukraine and China. Hunter Biden has also not addressed the authenticity of a quote the New York Post produced on Wednesday from a repair shop, it should not show, that contains what appears to be his signature along with his phone number and email address, agreeing to allow the shop to attempt to move data from 3 MacBook Pros to a store server. If Hunter Biden was not the individual who dropped off the laptop at the repair shop in April 2019, or as the signed quote produced by the Post is a forgery, it would cast doubt on the legitimacy of the emails that were pulled from the computer, or point to the possibility that the emails were obtained from a hack or other illegal means, or Russian disinformation. Hunter Biden's lawyer, George Mizires, has not responded to numerous emails, phone calls, and text messages from the Daily Caller News Foundation asking whether the repair shop quote with what appears to be his client's signature is a forgery, or whether his client can confirm or whether or not he dropped the laptops off at the Mac shop in Wilmington, Delaware. Oh my God. That is a weird picture. What the hell's going on there? Hello, Wigs Lives Matters. What? And Katie did skate? We need a caption contest for this one. Do you see this picture? I don't know if I can use, what the bloody hell? Okay. Caption contest for that picture. Oh my God. D&I Ratcliffe on Bartiromo has said the Hunter laptop is not Russian disinformation. Okay. I have a feeling it may probably was not. Okay. What the? I'm sorry. I'm fixated on this picture. Caption contest. Okay, I have to look away. All right, let's see more thing. Here's an editorial from the New York Post regarding this. Oh my God, that was weird. Oh my God. I don't even want to go back. I meant to clip that picture though. Oh shit. Anyway, I'll worry about it later. Here's the now. The people of the New York Post are pissed off. Turn your head and cough. I want the My Life Makes Me Sad shirt back.
Your life makes me sad.
She's saying, I can still suck it good for a pardon. Oh my goodness. You. And I will always love you. Oh, I will always love you. That's not what that meant. Anyway, unverified is a false excuse for ignoring the post-Hunter Biden scoops. This is from the New York Post editorial board. I think they're a little salty about the Twitter thing, and they have a right to be. Anytime now, those Section 230 protections are going away from certain social media sites if they don't get their shit together. Anyway, here's from the Post. Much of the push to ignore the post drop of Hunter Biden's emails centers on the charge that it is all unverified. The claim is more excuse than truth. First, a host of media outlets have now interviewed the computer repair guy who provided the data at the heart of the exposés, and he said exactly what we reported from the start about how the laptop came into his possession. Second, neither Hunter nor Joe Biden has even questioned the facts that the drive is real. They merely dismissed the entire line of questioning while charging that the Post has an agenda for presenting it to the world. Third, we've published emails and pictures, most of which have nothing to do with Ukraine or China, that contain an extraordinary level of detail. Is that all fabricated? The Biden campaign's response, notably, it is not that an email from a Burisma official thanking Hunter for an introduction to his father isn't real. It's that said meeting doesn't show up on Joe's official schedules. Pressed by Politico, the campaign acknowledged that they couldn't say for certain if Joe Biden had met him casually. It's particularly rich that the New York Times has fixated on the, quote, unverified excuse, since it spent so much of the Trump era offering supposed dirt from anonymous sources, which by definition makes the info unverifiable. A simple but striking case of that is The Atlantic's reporting that President Trump spoke contemptuously and insultingly of U.S. troops during his trip to France for war memorial ceremonies. Its claims were based purely on anonymous sources, but contradicted by a number of on-the-record sources, including ex-National Security Advisor John Bolton, who has absolutely no reason to lie to protect the man who fired him. Yes, the Times and other outlets confirmed the story, but only with anonymous sources of their own. What are the chances that these are the same people who talked to the Times anonymously? More significantly, this is true of the Times and the Washington Post reporting that built vast hysteria over Russiagate in the administration's first days. Some of the stories proved completely false, and no less than former FBI Chief Jim Comey, who has a zero motive to protect Trump, said at the time. Others proved to be partial truths, retailed to suggest the opposite of the whole truth, such as the host of reports that the FBI was, quote, investigating one or another alleged horror without ever mentioning that everything it had found so far indicated that the charge was pure fiction. All of it rooted in opposition research commissioned by Hillary Clinton's campaign or third-hand gossip retained by Clinton partisans in the Obama administration. But now, suddenly, with a trove of information, which again, the Bidens aren't even claiming is false, these same outlets want to ask endless questions about the chain of evidence. A chain of evidence that the Post has been upfront and open about. Desperate for a Biden win, they want to sink the story with innuendo rather than actually report on it. Don't ask too many questions, and you can dismiss it all as unverified. That is the New York Post editorial regarding this matter. Moving on. Also, there's a so social media. We already kind of went into the big tech ties. Oh, social media erupts over Biden's big tech ties after Facebook and Twitter censored New York Post story on Hunter Biden. This is from Fox News. How are we doing, gang? We all good? You know what? Hang on a second. Let me stop for a second. I want to just check in the chat a little bit because I've kind of been neglecting. I feel bad that I'm neglecting you. Wow, we got 56 people here and 40 likes. If you like what we're doing, please hit the like button sometime during the show. I really appreciate it, and it helps me with the algorithm. Okay. I like in the middle of nowhere. Wait, where are we going here? Oh, Cindy, you're thinking about going to Atlanta, but you hate Atlanta. Are you still, by the way, Cindy, are you still in Florida? If those of you are not familiar with some of the friends in the chat, Cindy is a nomad. And so she's always somewhere new. So I'm never really sure where she is, but I think last I heard she was in Florida. All right. Anyway, let's get back into it here. So this is just another one of those things that you see and you go, you just have to shake your head. Former Facebook exec will oversee enforcement of the Biden campaign ethics plan. The Biden campaign is facing renewed criticism over its deep connections with big tech after both Twitter and Facebook censored a story from the New York Post detailing alleged corrupt business deals by Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. The move prompted fresh criticism on social media over the Biden transition team's hiring of top Facebook executive Jessica Hertz, which reportedly came days after the 2020 Democrats campaign penned a letter to the social media giant urging them to censor President Trump's post, and they just dutifully did it. Hi, Jesse Leon. How you doing? Twitter's suppression of the Hunter Biden's revelations also came days after the company's director of public policy, Carlos Manji, reportedly left his post to work for the Biden transition team. Oh my gosh, these are incestuous bastards. It's just amazing. Oh, well, I've got someone from Facebook here and I got some from Twitter here, and now we're gonna censor anyone who says anything bad about Joe Biden. Joe Concha, a media reporter for The Hill, underscored the timing of the events on Twitter Sunday after a user observed that the New York Post is still locked out of its Twitter account for publishing a story that made Joe Biden look bad. And they're still locked out of this morning. I looked this morning. They have not posted anything yet. In a related story, Carlos Manji recently left Twitter as director of public policy to join Joe Biden's transitional team. There's Concha's tweet there. Other Twitter users accused the Biden campaign of not even trying to hide it at all, noting that both Hertz and Manji have a history working for Democrats. Hertz was the principal deputy counsel for the office of the vice president from 2012 to 2014, according to her LinkedIn, and Manji worked for the Obama White House Domestic Policy Council, according to his LinkedIn. So yeah, they're just a bunch of incestuous pigs. I got to tell you. It's amazing that these, oh God, FTG, F all of them. Who's the guy that writes the legal novels? John Grisham. John Grisham couldn't write this. Brad Thor could not write this story. Name your favorite writer. They could not come up with this. They could not come up with this story. It's amazing. Here's another one. It's funny. So the real disinformation, though, is coming from the media. It really is. If you read only one article apart from the Hunter Biden emails today, read this by Jeff Gazia. I read it twice. Establishment disinformation, including from unprofessional elements within the intel community, is more pernicious than the Russians. Oh, like John Brennan. Let's just read. Let's just check this one out. I'm going to run out of time. I have so many more. So look at this. There you got, look at Kobe, Brennan, and who's this asshole? That's the old NSA guy. What the hell is his name? I don't care. They're a bunch of snakes. A few weeks ago, this is from Jeff Gazay. A few weeks ago, I participated in a national security work group on disinformation. I was the only one in the group of about 20 people who had openly supported Trump in 2016. The other attendees were smart professional, but there was a noticeable imbalance in partisan representation. Since then, I followed the disinformation community and have studied these issues. I take them seriously. My conclusion, establishment disinformation, more than any form of disinformation, is killing Western democracy. James Clapper, thank you. Thank you, Spambot. How you doing, Spambot? Nice to see you back at the show. Establishment disinformation has caused more real-world harm to Western democracy than any other force in the last 2 decades. Consider the fallout from the sweeping information operations promoting lies and weapons of mass destruction. Remember how difficult it was to question these claims at the time? The WMD narrative created the pretext for wars that cost $6.4 trillion and 801,000 lives, according to a Brown University study, and we continue to pay the price. The suicide rate among veterans remains double that of the nation as a whole, and we're still not out of Afghanistan after 20 years, nearly 20 years. Consider the impact of the fake Russian collusion narrative. The lives ruined, the loss of public trust, increasing polarization, the damage to the peaceful transfer of presidential power, a cornerstone of a healthy democracy. It is now a proven fact that Hillary Clinton and her Democratic National Committee stooges initiated a coordinated multi-million-dollar disinformation campaign to undermine Donald Trump and detract from her email scandal. No, it's got these. Stop calling it an email scandal. It is not an email scandal. It's a mishandling of classified information scandal. Stop calling it's not her emails. It's the top secret and whatever classified information that she just willy-nilly put out on her server, she's got it on the laptop of a convicted sex offender. It has nothing to do with the fucking emails. She mishandled classified information on multiple occasions, which is a federal felonious charge. And she should have faced charges for that. It has nothing to do with her damn emails. It has nothing to do with the fact, she had some Yogi emails and this and that. No, she mishandled classified and top secret information. Period. Stop calling it a goddamn email scandal. Sorry. Establishment media breathlessly amplifies false, paranoid, and circular narratives, many of which were greased by actual Russian disinformation, laundered through the Steele dossier. Where are the calls from establishment media to identify journalists who were paid by Fusion GPS? That's a fantastic question. The FBI knew the Steele dossier and collusion narrative were false, just as they knew Hillary Clinton had weaponized these issues to cover up her email scandal. And they still used it as a predicate to spy on Trump's campaign and launched the Mueller investigation, falsifying documents along the way. The FBI's actions represent the greatest abuse of law enforcement power in half a century, and they were largely fueled by establishment disinformation. Now, consider the destruction of real world harm caused by narratives about police racism following the death in May of George Floyd. Many of these narratives were based on falsehoods, anecdotes, and incidents where full information was suppressed to advance Black Lives Matter and Antifa mobilization efforts. The vandalism and looting that took place caused $1 billion to $2 billion in damages. Homicides are up 24% from last year in America's 50 largest cities. Of course, the looting and riots took place against the backdrop of the pseudo-academic 1690 Project, an establishment journalism's disinformation effort that subverts the history of America's founding in a way Russia Today or People's Daily could only dream of doing. It would be tempting to dismiss the 1619 Project as a fringe polemic by radical journalists, except it was sponsored by the freaking New York Times, and they won a Pulitzer Prize and now shapes public school curricula. That's as establishment endorsed as one can get. But the project is so factually flawed that there's now a movement to revoke its Pulitzer by the National Association of Scholars. Good God. Then there's the most destructive event in 2020, the pandemic. Establishment disinformation around COVID-19 is hard to pinpoint, but anyone paying attention can see the wreckage of attempts to advance certain narratives and suppress others. Remember when the U.S. Surgeon General said masks weren't effective and then flip-flopped? Or how anyone questioning lockdowns was persecuted? Or how Facebook and Twitter banned posts downplaying COVID deadliness? Now, even the World Health Organization has moderated its position on lockdowns, which have caused unprecedented job losses, business closures, and economic damages. And I'll add mental health issues, suicides, and people dying of other diseases because they're not too afraid to go out and get diagnosed. Establishment disinformation comes from both sides of the political aisle, but the woke radicalization of the left combined with Trump derangement and the left-leaning media have given it a far-left flavor. Thus, fake attacks against Jussie Smollett and Althea Bernstein go unquestioned by the same media that slanders the Covington kids and Brett Kavanaugh. Leaks targeting Trump are not scrutinized or censored in the same way they are when targeting Biden or his son Hunter. Dictionary definitions are conveniently changed to enforce establishment narratives. This one, which one was it that they did? Yeah, Webster's changed the definition of sexual preference after Amy Coney Barrett's hearing. Did you see that? Did y'all see that bullshit? I'll show you. I'll get to that in a second. It may be cliche, but Orwell didn't write 1984 as a playbook. Yes, here we are. As a friend quipped recently, I thought we were becoming more like Brazil. Instead, we're becoming more like East Germany. Oh, give that person a cookie. The bell didn't work, but that's okay. Anyway, it'll ring at an odd time, just like that. Establishment disinformation becomes tyrannical when false establishment narratives are combined with the active suppression of authentic dissenting discourse, which has been made efficient by the consolidation of discourse on social media platforms. Instead of state persecution and social credit scores, citizens of Western democracies face deplatforming, job losses, and character assassination by power-crazed, petty hall monitor journalists and Soros-funded NGO researchers. Today's Hester Prynne is the person who says, all lives matter or gender is real. Woke narratives are Xi Jinping thought. There are constructive ways we could address, how much more of this is there? Okay, I'm almost done. There are constructive ways we could address establishment disinformation, but you are unlikely to hear the disinformation community talk about it as an issue. That's because much of the disinformation community consists of partisans who operate as arms of the DNC and left-wing foundations. Where the right has stupidly ignored these issues, the left has weaponized countering disinformation as a DNC strategy backed by millions of dollars. The term has become so abused that a friend now jokes that disinfo researcher in someone's Twitter bio is code for DNC hack. As you can imagine, the partisan weaponization of disinformation has done untold damage in the civic unity needed to address these issues of good faith. There's still a segment of disinformation researchers who are earnest, fair, and professional, but these folks almost all lean left and exist in institutional environments that prevent pushing back on establishment narratives. This is why we haven't seen reports on the Steele dossier or WMDs as disinformation case studies. And this is why we never hear BLM discussed in the same way QAnon is, even though any neutral definition would label them both conspiracy movements, with BLM causing dramatically more offline harm. Meanwhile, challenging the First Amendment has become a part of the zeitgeist for many of these people people, an argument Emily Bazelon articulates in a recent New York Times Magazine essay. My focus on establishment disinformation is not meant to underplay disinformation from foreign adversaries as bad actors. Those remain important issues, but there's something particularly insidious about coordinated false narratives from authority figures and institutions in our own democracies. It's even more insidious when the legitimate threat of foreign disinformation is instrumentalized to advance establishment narratives, as we saw in Russiagate and as we're seeing again in the Hunter Biden leaks. I'm not saying there are not legitimate issues to discuss. For example, how to handle hack and leaks and how to appropriately regulate social media platforms are valid, complex issues. But at the very least, we should strive to apply neutral principles evenly and consistently. That is not what we have seen. Establishment disinformation abuses public trust. It too often goes unchecked. No one in the disinformation community talks about it. Until we confront the problem of establishment disinformation, Western democracy will suffer, and the rise of a new networked form of tyranny will condemn those who step out of line. And we're already seeing that. I'm sorry, but the social media tech oligarchs or techno oligarchs, I like to call them, they're already trying to control what you can say, what you can hear, what you can see. Fucking assholes. All right, let's finish out with Glenn Greenwald here, who just had an interesting thread here on Twitter. Okay, I didn't miss any. Leaving all the corruption questions aside, why was Biden elected to serve as America's vice president so active in trying to dictate the internal affairs of Ukraine? Remember, I keep saying this. Why is the president of the United States involved in whether or not the Ukrainians have a certain prosecutor or not as regards to aid? Why? Regardless of if it helped his son or helped himself. Again, the analogy for me is if the Chinese said, we're going to stop buying bonds until you, Barack Obama, fire Eric Holder. We would tell them, and whether you like the Obama administration or not, the first thing that would come to mind for me would be
China is asshole.
Fuck off, China. You don't tell us who we have in our government. We're not going to tell you you have in your government. But all of a sudden, Joe Biden says, oh, you're not going to get the aid unless you fire that prosecutor. Oh, well. So active to the point of demanding the firing of the chief prosecutor. Why does the U.S. try to rule everyone? Great question, Glenn. Spare me the bullshit of how Biden and the EU wanted the prosecutor fired because he wasn't vigilant enough about fighting corruption. The U.S. and EU don't care if their puppet regimes tolerate domestic corruption. Why is the United States vice president dictating who the Ukrainian prosecutor should be? For those who believe Biden's motive in demanding the firing of Ukrainian prosecutor and withholding $1 billion in aid to force it to happen, was Biden just deeply worried about good governance in Kyiv? The prosecutor who replaced him was a joke. Not only was the new prosecutor appointed after Biden coerced the Ukrainian government with no legal experience as a prosecutor, he himself had a history of corruption. Whatever the motive of Biden and the EU was in demanding his change, wasn't noble anti-corruption fervor. Then he placed a leak here. In May 2009, he resigned as interior minister after being detained by police at Frankfurt Airport for being drunk and disorderly, although the ministry denied the incident had taken place. All his actions will be an imitation of work, said one of the lawmakers. Is it true that getting rid of the old prosecutor was EU policy, not just Biden's? And it's still unclear if that move benefited Burisma. But what's 100% clear is the motive given by Biden, I wanted a good government prosecutor in Ukraine to release the aid, is total bullshit. Thank you, Glenn Greenwald, for that interesting thread. Let's see. How much time do I got here? I got a few minutes. Let's see if there's. Oh, hey. So I got to show you this because you cannot say that the reporters don't try and ask Joe Biden's tough questions. Here's the tough question of the day that Joe Biden got yesterday when he was coming out of a malt shop, because it was the biggest news for Joe Biden yesterday seemed to be from the press that he went and got a malt or a shake or something at a malt shop. And this reporter was out there, and he asked the very tough question of Joe Biden, and here it is. Here's the tough question that Joe Biden got yesterday.
Have a safe one. We got everybody milkshakes, didn't we?
Yes, we did, sir.
Got everybody?
Yes, they're in the car, sir.
All right.
We got them. See, look.
Mr. Biden, what flavor did you get?
We got one vanilla, one chocolate, but I wanted to get what we call black and white, but we're going to move it. In other words, we're going to...
Oh, hey. See, thank you, C. Thomas. Nice to see you, brother. And I hope you can watch live again. Nice having you around. Oh, what flavor did you get, Joe? What flavor did you get? Okay, that wasn't the only question he got. He did answer that, though. He said something about, I got chocolate and vanilla, and he said something about, we call it black and white. Oh, that's racist. Come on, Joe.
Come on, man.
He did get another question. I think I bookmarked it. Let's see if I got the other question here. Okay. Oh, but that's the what flavor did you get question. That's drilling the vice president. Oh, I didn't get the other one. Someone did ask him about his son, and he just walked away and didn't say nothing. He got a little testy and walked away. All right, let's see. Anything else here I can throw out here? Censoring the Biden story. Yeah, social media becomes a state media. Oh, The Hill wrote this? Okay, we'll do this one, because this I'm shocked that this isn't The Hill. Maybe who wrote this though? It's an editorial from somebody. If it's Jonathan Turley. Okay, Jonathan Turley. Censoring the Biden story, how social media becomes state media. Chinese citizen watched President Xi Jinping deliver an important speech this week, not far from Hong Kong. Well, not the whole speech. Xi apparently is ill, and every time he went into coughing spasms, China's state media cut away so that he would be shown only in perfect health. Xi's cough came to mind as Twitter and Facebook prevented Americans from being able to read the New York Post's explosive allegations of influence peddling by Hunter Biden. The article cited material reportedly recovered from a laptop. It purportedly showed requests for Hunter Biden to use his influence on his father, then Vice President Joe Biden, as well as embarrassing photos of Hunter Biden. Many of us have questioned sketchy details of how the laptop reportedly was left by Hunter Biden with a nearly blind computer repairman, and then revealed just weeks before the presidential election. There are ample reasons to question whether this material was a product of a foreign intelligence operation. Oh, the Russians, which the FBI is apparently investigating. I hear they're investigating something else too. People's Front of Canada. Good morning, the one who tubes. How you doing? I didn't see you guys come in, so I'm glad you're here. Yet, funny thing about compromise, a Russian term for compromising information, is that it is often true. Indeed, it is most damaging and most useful when true. Otherwise, you deny the allegations and expose the lie. Hunter Biden has yet to deny these were his laptop, emails, his images. Well, the images, they're obviously him, right? But if the emails and images are genuine, then the Bidens appear to have lied for years as a raw influence peddling scheme with millions stretched from China to Ukraine to Russia. Moreover, these countries likely have had the compromising information all along, while the Bidens and the media were denying reports of illicit activities. Either way, this was major news. The response of Twitter and Facebook, however, was to shut it all down. Major media companies also imposed a virtual blackout on the allegations. It didn't matter that thousands of emails were available for review or that the Bidens did not directly address the material. It was all declared to be fake news. The tech company's actions are an outrageous example of open censorship and bias. It shows how private companies effectively can become state media working for one party. This, of course, was more serious than deleting coughs, but it was based on the same excuse of protecting the public from distractions or distortions. Indeed, it was the realization of political and academic calls that have been building for years. Democratic leaders from Hillary Clinton to Adam Schiff have long demanded such private censorship from social media companies, despite objections from some of us in the free speech community. Joe Biden himself demanded that those companies remove President Trump's statement about voting fraud as fake news, even though we're seeing more and more of it. Academics have lined up to support calls for censorship too. Recently, Harvard law professor Jack Goldsmith and University of Arizona law professor Andrew Keaton Woods called for Chinese-style internet censorship and declared that in the great debate of the past 2 decades about freedom versus control of the network, China was largely right and the United States was largely wrong. Do you remember that article? That was an embarrassment. Both of those professors need to move to China post haste. It turns out that traditional notions of journalism and free press are outdated too, and China again appears to be the model for the future. Recently, Stanford communication professor emeritus Ted Glasser publicly denounced the notion of objectivity in journalism as too constraining for reporters seeking social justice. In an interview with the Stanford Daily, Glasser insisted that journalism needed to free itself from this notion of objectivity to develop a sense of social justice. He said reporters must embrace the role of activist and that it is hard to do that under the constraints of objectivity. Problem solved. I'm going to stop there because I just don't know where all these objective journalists are. Chris Cuomo? Huh? Chris Hayes? Rachel Maddow? No, okay, wait a minute. Chris Hayes, Rachel Maddow, they're opinion journalists. But Chris Cuomo pretends that he's an objective journalist. Doesn't he pretend that? God. Oh, FTG. Oh, I wanted to say, hang on. I was going to put that out here. You can read the rest of this article at The Hill as soon as I reload it and pop you the link. There you go. Boop. Be-doop, doop, doop. All right. All right, gang. It is that time. Let's check just real quick to see if there's any breaking news. I haven't had a chance to even look at this morning's news, so let's see what's out there. On the Explore tab, we've got at the top, Alienware, where human meets machine, promoted by, that's some kind of shit somebody put on there. Oh, thousands defy emergency decree and transit shutdown as pro-democracy protests continue in Thailand. Interesting. Schiff is trending. Why is Adam Schiff trending? Oh my God. Let's find out. Oh, new. DNI Radcliffe says Hunter Biden's laptop emails not part of some Russian disinformation campaign. There is no intelligence that supports that, he said, despite claims from Adam Schiff over the weekend suggesting otherwise. Yeah, so Adam Schiff, of course, decided that, well, this is Russian disinformation, and because my neck is so thin, you have to believe me. Adam Schiff's full of shit. From senior U.S. intelligence official I spoke this morning, Ratcliffe's 100% correct. There is no intelligence at this time to support Schiff's statement that recent stories on the Biden foreign business dealings are part of a smear campaign that comes from the Kremlin. No evidence. He said it without evidence, but I'll bet you a dime to a donut that anyone else reporting on Schiff's comments probably just says it's gospel truth instead of putting it in that little line that a lot of these guys use without evidence. Said without evidence. So Adam shit is so. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say Adam shit? I sincerely meant Adam shit. I mean, wait, did I do it again? I'm sorry. Adam shit. Adam Schiff. There, I said it right. Hi, Hypnagogic Monk. How you doing? Okay, okay, let's hear some of the headlines. 55 minutes ago. Okay, here's one for my Canadian brothers and sisters from the Toronto Star. Canada not ready for influx of refugee claimants from U.S., according to the government. Oh my God. Wait, what the hell did I do? What the hell did I do? I accidentally... Please go back to that. Oh, shit. Canada not ready for influx. Canada would face an influx of refugee claimants and other ripple effects in the absence of a bilateral pact that stops would-be asylum seekers from making a claim here via the U.S. federal government's warning. Oh, I see. I think they're talking about okay, let's see. In July, the federal court ruled some STCA accord unconstitutional because the United States routinely detains asylum seekers in poor conditions. It gave Ottawa 6 months until January 22nd to fix the policy. I don't know what that means. Let's see if we can get here. Let's check something out here. Federal government asks court to keep Canada-U.S. pact to prevent. Okay. I'm not really sure what that means. I'm gonna maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow when I get a little more information. Also in the news tab, let's see. Should Canada buy this American community? What? Cut off by COVID-19, some in Point Roberts say it's time for a change. The pandemic has divided families and crippled local businesses, while critics laugh at the idea. Some say the enclave would be better off as a part of Canada. Point Roberts, Washington, have put up with the inconvenience of being cut off from the U.S. mainland. They liked their sleepy isolation, as did the many Canadians who ventured down on weekends and bought seasonal cottages there. So it's apparently, is it an island or something? Then the pandemic hit and border restrictions. Business that rely on Canadian visitors is struggling. It's a ghost town, and the residents like Rena. Oh, I see. It's some town in Washington that relies on Canadian tourism. And apparently because of the COVID, they can't. And so the town's dying, and they are saying that maybe they should just be a part of Canada now. Okay, I got it. This is interesting. So the New York Times has an article. As local news dies, a pay-for-play network rises in its place. Now, this is funny that they're featuring this particular one. Local newspapers are vanishing across the country, popping up in their place. A network of nearly 1,300 local websites publishing articles ordered up by Republican groups and PR firms. It's funny they only focus on this particular one because there is also it's a Democratic operative who also made a bunch of these types of websites with fake newspaper names, and they actually print out press releases to some of these places and disseminate them on Facebook and places like that. Basically, they're little fake news sites. And so, but they, of course, they only feature in the New York Times the one that is conservative, the ones that are conservative friendly. Very interesting. But anyway, a network of 1,300 websites targeting small towns and cities across the U.S. built not on traditional journalism, but rather propaganda ordered up by Republican groups and PR firms. A nearly year-long investigation by Dave Yalba and me in the New York Times. So that's, of course, you know, what's funny is there's not enough people on Twitter to make that a story that anybody gives a shit about. A doctor from India is winning hearts with his dance video for COVID-19 patients. Yippee! That's exciting. Notice what's really weird here. Okay, so this is the news tab on Twitter. The trend, when you get the hottest news of the day, new things. Okay, Canada not ready for influx of refugees. Should Canada buy this American community? As local news dies, pay-for-play networks on displays. Minnesota election news and updates. Be prepared to participate in the November 3rd elections. Hundreds of ICE detainees reported abuse inside California detention centers. Cases were rarely prosecuted. COVID-19, how to protect yourself. Doctor from India winning hearts in this dance video. French billionaires just have had a lucrative decade. Joe Biden does not own or live in a DuPont mansion, Snopes reports. Really? Oh my God. Thank God we know that. Alabama broke its absentee voting record 3 weeks before Election Day. Legendary star, Sid Hartman died. Rest in peace, Sid Hartman. If you're not familiar with Sid Hartman, nationwide known sports journalist. He's 101 years old, was still writing articles as late as, I think, last year. He had a column in the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. He's a legend in the Twin Cities. And he passed away yesterday at 101. Rest in peace, Sid Hartman. Rest in peace, Sid Hartman. He's good man. And he'll be missed in the Minnesota sports community. Thousands defy emergency decree, blah, blah. McConnell announced a Senate vote. China, COVID-19. Chinese fishing fleets, COVID-19. Evacuations near Boulder. Hard truths, deep, whatever. I'm scrolling down, and you know what's missing? Oh, ABC, Biden's town hall had a higher ratings than NBC's Trump town hall, according to early Nielsen data. Yeah, and then add up all the online and whatnot. They're probably about the same. Doesn't matter. What's missing? What was the biggest story of the weekend? And not a pip about it on this news tab here. This here news tab. Well, it's a good question. It's kind of the same question that we've been getting for weeks now. Where is Hunter Biden? Where is Hunter Biden? Not one pip about it. Now, let me check trending, because they curate the trending tab too. Let's see if there's anything, because sometimes they slip up and let it slip through. Let's see. Thank you, Doc. Big hit entertainment, Monday motivation, Trump 2020 to save America. Oh, that'll be gone pretty soon. Ratcliffe, Bolivia, Aisha Curry, who shows off her new hairstyle with husband Steph Curry. Oh, that's trending. Great. Schiff, okay, that's kind of related. Scott Atlas, Dorn. Not, okay. Joe Biden and Hunter Biden don't even get a mention in the trending topics today. Now, granted, see, you always know it's something organic that's trending if it's Trump, if it's positive, because that's the only way it happens. Let's see. Trump 2020 to save America is trending. Let's see what's the top one. Okay, this says the biggest lie ever told. Okay, whatever. Okay. Yeah, some of you are doing it just to troll, but whatever. Anyway, but if it's trending, it's organic, because they'll take that shit down in a heartbeat. They curate the trending tab like crazy. Anyway, all right, guys. I went through that without seeing it. Hey, it is time for me to go. I'm so glad we've had this time together. 67 in the room today. Peaked out at, looks like, what do we peak out at today? 68. All right, cool. Hey, before you do anything right now, please, if you haven't already done it, click the like thing, that little thumbs up thing down there. Click it right now if you liked what we do. If you like being here, if you enjoyed being in the chat or whatever, click the like button before you go. If you're watching on replay, put a comment in the comment section, or even if you're watching live, come back and put a comment in the comment section just for shits and giggles. And please share the stream. The share arrow down there, or through Twitter, Minds, Gab, Parler, right there. That right there. You can hit it right there. Okay. And if you would be so kind, and also if you want to make donations to the show to keep the effort, that's how we sound better. I have the new microphone and mixing board, and I'm just trying to improve the show, but also sometimes I buy myself an ice cream or an extra pound of coffee. If you want to throw some in the tip jar, you can do that at Streamlabs, YouTube Super Chats, Venmo, Cashapp, the PayPal's through Streamlabs, whatever you do. I greatly appreciate those of you who are able to do that. If you're not able, don't ever feel like you have to. I just appreciate when you do. Thank you, Gunfox, X-Bubba, Hotep, Maddie, Gamer Valine, Democrat, IMAX, and X-Bubba, Hotep. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to go. My name is PDawgKnight. And I'm out of here. Bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Okay, see ya. Have a great day.
Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.